I think back to what that dragon-like creature had told me. About how I'm here for a reason, that this has all been planned out. Planned out by parents who seem to be completely frustrated at the behavior of the wolves and their inability to follow through on their plans. For a brief moment, I wonder how much more smoothly things would have gone if I had been abducted by someone like Neferu and taken to somewhere like Camia. But then I wouldn't have met Amicus. Besides, it seems like it's just the wolves that are giving the parents problems, not the other siblings. Which reminds me of the only bit of advice that the parents had given me. Watch the cat. Spy on Alexius. That's something I think I can do, if I'm careful. Despite the new level of scrutiny I've fallen under, I've also been walking around the halls of the palace for the past few days without incidents. I don't think that's the right word. I've even come across Cato a few times, but for whatever reason, he's completely ignored me. All for the better. So, I start to scour the palace for the cat. He's actually pretty hard to find when he's not looking for you, but I at least know that he's usually in the gardens, if not in the hallways watering the plants. So after eating a quick lunch, I decide to start my search in the gardens. I look back and forth through the foliage as I walk quietly along the various pathways. It's quiet, pleasant, and peaceful. Adjectives. But after everything that's happened, it has an ominous edge to it, like something could jump out at me at any moment. I do this for about half an hour before I start to realize how fruitless this search might be. Alex would be hard to find even if he was out here, and besides, he could even be all the way out in the city doing his ambassador work, whatever that is. As I'm about to give up, though, I hear something. Sniffing, gasping, and crying? I pause, listening. It's a bit difficult to hear through the slight rustling of the leaves in the wind, but there's definitely someone out here that sounds upset. Can't really tell who it might be, since it sounds like they're trying to keep quiet. Then there's another sound, too, another voice, and this one I recognize. Alex. Soft murmuring sound like he's soothing someone. Probably the person who's crying. I wait there a few moments, waiting to see if the sound fades or gets closer, which would tell me if they're moving, but it stays constant. So, convinced that they're sitting down, or at least standing in the same spot, I creep closer to where the sound is coming from. Ooh, I'm a creepy crawly. It's in a secluded part of the garden, coming from a small square that's surrounded by trees and bushes. I'm familiar with this square, the one that's with the statue of Drusus, where I'd been laid out to die. I know that I can't use this little path that leads me to the statue. I'd be seen for sure. So I walk up to the bushes that surround it and start looking for a break in the various branches and leaves. The sobbing sound continues, and I can hear Alex's voice more clearly now. Still can't tell exactly what he's saying. Don't worry, and all is well. Can't imagine what's happening in there. I start to wonder if this is exactly what the parents had hoped I would come across, and my heart starts to hammer in my chest. Am I about to find something that's going to help me out out of the mess we're in? I finally find a thinner coverage in the foliage, and I'm able to see through. First, I see Alex, his back to me, crouched in the ground in front of the statue. He's draped over something. Someone hugging them, his face pressed to the side of their head. I can only see their ears and parts of their shoulder, but I know right away that it's Cassius. He's got his head bowed deeply towards the ground, his paws to his face shaking with his sobs. Alex hugs him tightly, whispering into his ear, clearly trying to comfort him. Cassius only responds with an occasional shake of his head before finally blurting out, "But am I a fraud?" His voice squeaks uncharacteristically on the last word as Alex responds with a gentle shush before nuzzling the wolf's muzzle. I watch for a few more moments before drawing back, feeling uncomfortable, knowing that this is a private moment between the two of them. I know now that this won't exactly help me in any way aside from making me feel worse for Cassius. Still, I found Alex, so I move away toward a bench that's further up the path. One that gives me a good view of the entrance to the square, and at a distance that won't make me seem suspicious. A good 10 minutes pass before there's any movement. First, Cassius comes out. In the process of straightening out his armor, his expression blanks, he stalks up the path, away from me. I wait a while. A good while. Maybe another 5 minutes, wondering if Alex somehow took a different exit from the square. But at that moment, I see him walk out, looking completely neutral as he looks around. I freeze up, positive he's about to see me, even though that would be okay. But instead, he walks straight ahead towards the pond. Watch him go for a while, then follow. Feels strange trying to spy on the pet ambassador like this, especially when I have no idea what I'm doing. This is the only hint I was given to free Amicus, and if this is the only way, then I'm gonna do it. I find the cat at the pillars, already pulling away at the weeds. I sigh and wait, watching for a while, realizing that this could last hours. Oh yeah, that this could last hours, since Alex always seemed to enjoy weeding for some reason. The cat is so meticulous about gardening here, and I have to wonder why, considering his efforts really wouldn't be all that visible in a garden this big. Then I remind myself of why I'm here and settle down on another bench, one that's also a good distance away, so that I won't seem too suspicious if he sees me. This time I sit there for a few hours, occasionally adjusting the way I'm seated as my ass gets sore on the stone bench. As the sun sets, I realize how boring spying actually is. Around the second hour, the sun has completely set, and I debate just giving up and trying another day. At that moment, a drone suddenly drifts up to me, making me jump and duck my head in a little bit, as if that will help me hide from Alex. Neferu across! I hiss at the drone, and Com's voice automatically dips into a whisper and goes on as if nothing had happened. Your location if you need his assistance. Of course, at that exact moment, I see Alex strolling up the path, though he doesn't move toward the palace. Instead, he starts walking up the path in my direction, and I quickly stumble off the bench and into the bushes, praying that he didn't see me as I hide myself amongst the leaves. I don't think it worked. The drone follows me and then pauses at the edge of the sidewalk. I remember that those things probably can't move off the grid of the pathways. They're just the leaves. I can see the damn thing's lights on, stubbornly waiting for my answer. At the same time, I hear the soft scraping of Alex's sandals on the pathway as he moves closer. Damn it. It would have been better if I just stayed on the bench. Now this drone is going to reveal me to Alex while I'm hiding in the bushes like the most suspicious person in the palace. See the green tips of the alley of Cat's ears poke above the bushes as he hums softly. I crouch lower in the foliage until I can't even see that. I will the cat to just ignore the drone, but the humming stops, and so do his footsteps, and I know he spotted it.
Do you have a stray drone out here, Com?
All drone machinery is accounted for, Amicus. Shit, fuck. All drone machinery are accounted for, Alexius.
What's this one doing?
Ooh, I feel my heart stop swallowing hard. There's a pause as if Com is calculating something.
That information is classified, Alex.
By whom?
Neferu.
There's a pause and a chuckle as Alex's footsteps pick up again, moving further away to my left.
Oh, that jackal.
I'm still holding my breath as I listen to the footsteps fade up the path before slowly rising up from my crouch, glaring at the drone. Tell Neferu that I'm busy, but that I'll be back tonight. I have some things to tell him.
Message received, thank you, William.
Yeah, no problem. I say it sarcastically as the drone floats off in its slow, lazy way. At this point, the sun is set completely, and I have to wonder why Alexius is headed into that particular direction, leading either toward the gates of the palace or the lake. I follow the path slowly, keeping my eyes peeled for the cat. I first, I'm almost positive that he would be heading for the gate, maybe on his way to the city. This would be the end of my little mission, since I know I can't leave the boundaries of the palace without being hurt somehow, properly killed. But instead I spot the cat's form, just barely visible in front of the lake, its surface glinting from the light of the moon. I stop and hide behind a tree, making sure that I'm not close to any of the lampposts. I watch as Alex moves around under the little gazebo with the watercrafts under it. Sure enough, a few minutes later, he comes gliding out on the sightseer. He floats up over the shore, then out onto the lake, in the direction of the island. I know right away that I'm seeing something important. There's nothing on the island for the cat to take care of, as far as I know, and unless he's going out there for a nighttime outing on the beach, extremely doubtful, then he's definitely doing something suspicious. I wait for a while, watching as the dark form of the cat and the craft get smaller and smaller until they basically disappear in the direction of the island. Of course, I know I can't follow him out there right now, but I can definitely tell Neferu about it. Neferu is in his room when I arrive, tapping away at what looks like a transparent tablet. It's an odd thing to see. It's an odd thing to see, considering the non-existence of portable technology in this palace. Maybe it's a Camian thing. As soon as he sees me, though, the display slides back into the small metal bar, and that's been projecting out as he turns to face me.
Hello, William. You were gone for quite a while.
Yeah.
Care to share how your visit went with Cassius and hopefully Amicus?
Takes me a moment to remember exactly what he's talking about. After my little trip, everything that happened before, it seems so distant. I tried to tell Neferu as much as I remember involving Cassius before the parent thing, and he seems impressed.
I suppose bringing Cassius to our side won't be as difficult as I'd previously thought. It seems he has similar misgivings about Cato.
Yeah, and Amicus is doing okay. Just a bit depressed about everything that's happening, obviously. I pause then, which Neferu notices.
Is there something else that happened?
I take a deep breath, thinking how best to describe what I went through. Well, when I was coming back, there was this weird smell coming from the meditation room. Nefer raises an eyebrow, and I go on to explain how I had ran into Cassius again. Then everything that happened afterwards. When I finish, the jackal is quiet, just watching me with a narrowed gaze. This is usually the look he gives me when he's thinking hard about something, so I give him some time to respond. When he does, it's hesitant and reserved, not usually something I hear from Neferu.
So it was a drug-induced hallucination, yes?
Well, I guess so, but I think it was real too. Like, Cassius was there and he remembers seeing me with him. What's wrong?
Well, that is a very primitive way to contact the parents. To put it bluntly, it does not work. It was a method used in the early days during first contact between sibling and parent. They visited multiple times, and in between visits, some siblings, especially the wolves, would try to contact them again via psychotropic drug use. This could occasionally bring visions of higher beings, though they were not the parents, of course. Simply imagine beings conjured up by chemically imbalanced brain. A chemically imbalanced brain. This is likely what you experienced. To truly contact the parents, you must do it through parental tech. Complicated machinery that is able to transcend dimensions. It is usually only usable by a single person, such as the Emperor for the wolves or the Pharaoh for my people.
Nefer stopped talking at this point, allowing me to take all that information in. So maybe I had imagined it all, even if it had seemed so real. They told me they had a plan for me, and everything. Oftentimes such drugs stroke the ego of the user,
They make you feel as if you are the center of the universe, as if you are important. Not saying you aren't. Have you tried it before? I've had brushes with such substances in my youth. Good for experiencing the fragility of reality and how we perceive it, but little else.
He's really trying to downplay this.
I see. Still, it sounds like you caught Cassius in a moment of vulnerability. He could trust you more because of it, if you treated the situation delicately.
Maybe. Think back to when I saw him crying in front of the statue. But I don't want to tell Neferu about that. Not really feeling it would be all that useful or appropriate to share. This reminds me of what else the parents had said to me. Well, they also told me something else. To watch Alex.
Did they now?
Yeah, and I did. He's been acting weird ever since I got here, so I spied on him today, and he sailed off to the island in the middle of the lake just now. Neferu's got a strange, knowing smile on his face. What?
I just find it interesting that you have similar suspicions of Alex that I did.
What do you mean?
I've been studying the cat myself and noticed a few odd things as well, including his trips to the island.
I frown. What? And you didn't tell me?
Well, this rather desperate situation we're in only came about very recently, and I had little use for this information until now.
Well, what do you think he's doing? Nefer shrugs.
I don't know, as I've not yet followed him out to the island. You can imagine that I'm planning to now that we could use Alex on our side as well.
Turn everyone against Cato?
Yes.
So if he's doing something bad, then we could use it as blackmail.
Essentially, he is the closest person to Cassius and could possibly grant us access to classified information.
I sigh, growing weary of all this backstabbing. If it's the only way to help Amicus, I guess.
Oh, there are many ways, and I have a last resort plan in place.
I wait, but Neferu does not go on.
Which is... Well, considering Amicus's birthright, he still has the ability to challenge whoever is on the throne, but...
Really? Well, this time Amicus could have just challenged Cassius again? Then I realized Neferu was about to go on. But what?
A fight to the death. Since the wolves love their violence, the Emperor would have to accept the challenge.
The thought of that instantly makes me feel sick. No way.
Again, last resort. I doubt Amicus would challenge his own brother, and I doubt Cassius would accept, at least at the moment.
I can't even begin to contemplate a situation like that, and Neferu quickly changes the subject.
Anyway, I should be off. I'd like to catch Alex in the act, and based on previous observations I made, I have another hour to do so.
I blink in surprise.
Hey, movie.
Right now? Shouldn't we wait until, tomorrow night?
He only goes once a week. Considering how urgent our situation is, I should get this done now.
Can I go too?
William, remember what I said about needing to keep you safe?
Yeah, and it's Alex. What's he gonna do?
We should be prepared for anything.
Well, I think it's better if we both go, in case something does happen and you need my help. Never lets out a soft sigh.
All right.
I'm surprised by how quickly he gives in.
I suppose you deserve to be treated as an equal in these plans we're making. Though if Amicus finds out I'm bringing you on these missions, he'll have my hide.
I'll let him know I wanted to be a part of it.
As if that'll convince him anyway. Let's be off.
Okay. My excitement picks up as I get to my feet and follow Neferu to the door.
If we run into anyone, especially Cato, we simply tell him we're out for an evening stroll, understood?
Yep. Despite the potentially dangerous situation we're going into, my mood is lifted, knowing that things are finally moving again. That'd be an ironic line if the next one is to be continued. It's not! Okay, no irony. Cool.